Good morning, my lovelies, and as you can see, my mic was off, and so this is a complete voiceover of the quick introduction that I made for this video. But essentially, all I was saying was, today is my cheat day. I did not go to the gym. I slept in a little bit, the kids slept in a little bit, and that was fine. I decided that I wanted to make some pancakes because I was craving some, and I didn't want to order it from any restaurant and not know exactly what was put in there, especially because making pancakes is so easy. Also, a lot of you guys have been inquiring on LindaKneadsFaith and where I got the name from. So I'll be breaking down where and how I got the name and just some basic ingredients that's needed to make some homemade pancakes. Let's just keep it as simple and as basic as possible. So we'll start off with the dry ingredients. We have some all-purpose flour, and I'll list the specific measurements in the description. Some all-purpose flour, some sugar, some baking powder, and some salt. And for the wet ingredients, I have buttermilk, but you can use any milk that you have, any natural milk that you have. I've tried to use this recipe with evaporated milk. It didn't turn out well. So just try to use whatever milk that you have. I've used it with almond milk as well, and it turned out just fine, just a sweetened almond milk. But I have butter and I have vanilla extract, and you know I love anything vanilla. So what I'm going to first start off with is I'm going to sift the dry ingredients. Again, I like to sift it because I like my pancakes a little bit more smoother. You don't have to, it just makes it a little bit more lumpy, but if that's your thing, that's your thing. Because again, we're just going to try to keep it as simple as possible. So I'm going to sift the all-purpose flour, the sugar, and the baking powder together in a bowl, and then I'm going to slowly add in the ingredients. There's actually one ingredient that I'm missing that I forgot to take out, and that is one large egg. So what I'm going to do with that large egg when I take it out of the refrigerator is I'm going to let it sit for a minute or two in some hot water so it can get to room temperature, because one thing about baking is you want the temperature of all of your ingredients, especially the wet ones, to be relatively the same. So even the melted butter, I melted it a few minutes ago. It's cool now, it's at room temperature. You don't want anything that is too hot or too cold mixing with the ingredients, because it changes the texture of it and it could also alter the taste of it as well. Okay, so now that I've finished running my mouth, I'm in need of some pancakes. So yeah, let's get started. All right, guys. So in a mixing bowl, I am going to add my flour. I'm going to sift that. I'm going to add my sugar. I don't know if you necessarily need to sift the sugar, but I do. And then whatever is left, which is just some very small crystals, I add it at the end. And then this is the baking powder. And then the salt. Okay. And that's it for the dry ingredients. So yeah, this morning was a very slow morning for all of us. It seems like everything and everyone in the house was dragging, and it happens. I didn't go to the gym today either. Need a good rest day, and what better is a rest day with some homemade pancakes. I am going to now slowly add in the milk. I like to just sort of make a dip in the center and add it and make a mess, of course, as I go. And then I will add in the eggs after, the vanilla extract, and I like to add the butter last. But honestly, you just add the ingredients. This is just the way that I like to do it because I'm a little weird like that. But just add the ingredients and mix it. And to be honest with you, I can't really say how much pancakes this makes. It just depends on how big you like your pancakes. So as you can see, I got a skillet that's already greased up in the back, and I'm just gonna put it on a medium-high setting once it's ready, and then add a little bit as I go. So a lot of you guys have been asking, where did I get the name from? That's been a big topic of discussion amongst my friends and the people that follow me on TikTok. And if you're not following me on TikTok, you should. See, you actually don't even need a hand mixer. It actually mixes just fine, but we'll see what it looks like at the end. But yeah, so how I got the name was a few months ago, late 2025. So I know it's not just me, because everybody that I talk to tell me the same thing. 2025 was just one heck of a year, to say the least, for absolutely everybody. Everything that we thought was quote unquote normal was not normal. Everything that we were taught was brought up to question. And I mean that everything. And for me, it was a big spiritual shift for me. And I've always believed in God. I grew up in a church, grew up Roman Catholic, went to Haitian Baptist church when I was younger with my aunt. I grew up in a church, right? So I grew up around religion, but it wasn't until the end of last year that I realized how far away from Christ I was, through a lot of tests and a lot of spiritual warfare. So late 2025, I gave my life to Christ. And with that, I was like, because I was going through a lot. It was a lot. And with that, I was like, oh, thank God, now everything's gonna be all right.
The lies! There you go, this bitch, I'm telling you.
No, it was not at all, okay? It seemed like everything that I was feeling was almost magnified, but there was a lot of clarity that came with that too. And so it was one of the best decisions, if not the best decision that I have ever made in my life. But at the time too, I needed a lot of faith. I needed to strengthen my faith with Christ, because I was completely outside of his will, and I was completely outside of what he wanted for me. And so what I started to do is I started to surround myself with, I started to create essentially my own faith-based community. And what's crazy about it is majority of my friends, we were all sort of on different paths, but all walking towards the same goal, which is building a more intimate relationship with Christ. And none of us really knew that. So when I reached out to I reached out to Liz. I'm like, Liz, I need a Bible. And I asked her, I was like, do you recommend a Bible? And this was when everything was just on a roller coaster kind of way. And she was like, yeah, I got you. She was like, don't worry, I got you. And within not even 2 days, in my mail, she sent me this beautiful Bible. And that's the kind of started my walk. And then I created a Bible study amongst my friends. And now the ministry itself is growing, and my faith is growing. My relationship with Christ is growing. And my peace is growing with that as well too. So that's how the name kind of came about, because I needed so much faith to really just stay alive at that point. My health was failing, families being torn apart, relationships being broken here and there amongst friends and families, etc. Everything that I knew about my life, even at the age that I am at, was tested, destroyed, and essentially being rebuilt in front of my eyes. And I just needed something to hold on to make it to the next day and the next day and the next day. And again, I've always known Christ, and I've had a general relationship with just religion itself, but I feel like the intimate relationship that I have with him now, the comfort that I have with him now, how I see things being played out in front of me now is completely different than what it was a year ago or 2 years ago. So that's how the name came about. And so I've always wanted to bake. I was telling my family a year ago, I was like, it's been about a year. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna bake my first cake. This was 2025. I'm gonna bake my first cake this year. I'm gonna bake it this year. And everybody encouraged me. Everybody was like, yeah, you could do it. You're the best. You cook, you know how to cook it, you could do it. But I never tried it until late last year. I needed something to sort of get me out of my head, because I overanalyze everything. I overanalyze my environment. I am able to pick up energy shifts and body language change, and then I overanalyze it and get it all in my head, and I drive my own self crazy.
Why?
So baking is very different because the ingredients are so specific.
Specific.
That if you mess up on it, you may have to start all over again. And I say that for me because I'm new at it. So if I put too much baking powder in it, I don't know how to really substitute that. And I know there is a way, but I don't know how. And then some people say, well, if you don't have cornstarch, you can mix this, that, and the third, and it gives you the equivalent of cornstarch. Baby, I don't know none of that at all, okay? So it gets me out of my head and it allows me to focus. So after I baked my first cake off camera, I was like, I could maybe do it. Like, it didn't come out great, but next time, which was my pound cake video, next time I'm gonna do a pound cake and it's gonna be like this. And my pound cake came out phenomenal. I was like, I got it. So I just needed a little faith to just keep going. I needed a little faith day by day. Literally, I took life one day at a time because it seems like the devil was coming at me in every single direction.
The fuck is that? Shit! I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town.
That I had two choices. I either folded under pressure and just gave in, or I stand up and I rebuild my life the way that I need to rebuild it, off of like just my values and what I think my life should be, not what everybody else's opinion was, what they think and what they need. And then at the same time too, it allowed me to evaluate my environment because it allowed me to see who was there through the rubble and during the rebuild with no judgment. A lot of times people say that they love you, but they only love you through the good seasons, or they love you through the seasons where like it's bad, but it's good enough for them to stick by. So I sat back and I watched the people that, whether it was family and so on, that says, yeah, I love you, I'll go through whatever with you. And then when the storm came, and the crazy thing is, I'm not judging anybody because I was in one hell of a place, so it is what it is. But when the storm came, I sat and I watched everyone, how they moved, and their character, and their judgments, and their biases, and I heard the whispers, and I heard all of that, and I was like, you know what, it's either I fold, or am I rebuilt? Really, it's taking everything out of me and the Christ in me not to say,
you think you can do this to me? You little punks will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you.
A couple. Because if you're left in that season, stay where the you're at. And I mean that. All right. So anyways, I needed faith. And here I am. Baking. And it's been such a great thing too, because I'm able to bake with my daughter. Like, you don't know how special and unique that is, because I never had that. And so I'm able to teach her certain things. And of course, she has the attention span of a goldfish. And so she's here and then playing Roblox, and 2 minutes later, but still we have so much fun in this kitchen. And what I don't record is even better than the content that I do record, but it's so intimate. It's so us that I almost don't want to show it to you guys, because that's just like, oh my God. Then, you know, my son comes out of the room and he tasted and he's happy, and he only talks positive to me and his sister. So he's like, this is great, this is wonderful, but next time let's do this, and you guys do such a great job. So it's such a positive environment. I actually love baking now more than I love cooking, and everybody who knows me know I love to cook. So now that I'm done running my mouth, this is what the batter looks like. I actually did not need my hand mixer. So if you follow the steps just like I did, it should come out very smooth. And I'm going to use probably like a 1/4 cup scoop, and just use that and put it on the skillet on medium high. I am going to cook it until the sides start to bubble. And when they do, I'm going to flip it, make it until it's nice and brown. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's pancake time. And there you have it, guys. Some nice, simple, easy pancakes. If you put the skillet on more on the higher side, it's going to be a little bit more browner or darker. That's all up to you. I like mine a little bit like that. I don't like it too white, but whatever. Yeah, you catch what I'm saying though, right? Some organic syrup. Yeah, this is gonna be a nice cheat day. And I'm gonna cut into this nice, smooth. Oh my God, oh my God. You don't even need to put any effort. It just melts right under the, look at that. See that? That's some good stuff. Some good stuff right there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Now you guys know how to make some nice, easy, homemade pancake mix. And you know I gotta be fancy. I gotta add the strawberries. Oh yeah, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, I'm gonna feel this in the morning. But whatever. If y'all want, y'all can stay back and watch me devour this entire plate as if I haven't eaten in 2 days. Organic syrup though. Yeah, this is a good way to start my morning. This is a good way to start my morning. Y'all can leave now, but I'm gonna finish before I end the recording.
If you're still here, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share this video.
If you're still here at this point, it's just getting weird. You know, just saying. If you're still watching, it's getting weird. It's given that you like to watch me eat, and that's kind of crazy.